The darkness touched you. Everyone could see it in the hollows of your eyes. A gaze averted from life. You ran from it but brought it nearer. Led it to him. An endless suffering worse than death. And you wanted to surrender, abandon acquaintance with the gods. No. The darkness won't allow it. So you will walk into the lair of the beast. Look it in the eye, and you will go to war. This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
Hello and welcome to the fifth part of our walkthrough. We're going deeper and deeper into Helheim, and we also get glimpses of a secondary motivation that Senua has, and that motivation is revenge. She wants revenge on the people that made Dylan suffer, and on the gods that made Dylan suffer as well. Basically on everyone that took him away from her. And this revenge, of course, comes from guilt to a certain extent. Apparently we have more enemies to kill.
The gods made you a warrior for a reason. It's your calling.
The chronology of events here is a bit unclear, so we know that Senua left Dillion to go on her existential pilgrimage, so to speak. But it is not fully clear when she met Druth, if she met him before Dillion was killed or afterwards.
Whatever the news were ahead, the only one that makes any sense.
Shield bearers again. And he fell into the waters of the underworld, never to be seen again. Weather effects again, reflecting Senua's turmoil. As she continues her quest deeper and deeper into the so-called underworld.
Every gate you open into darkness brings another mesh.
And we have a mini boss. Damn. Should I probably use the special attack on this one? Yay! So the minute we started talking about revenge, more enemies started to pile up. And that's a warrior's life, pretty much.
The journey to Helheim is never a straight one. Each must find their own path. Align yourself to its secrets, and you will find yours.
Now you only have to meet Cerberus and we have a complete menu on our hands.
However you come to the gold-covered bridge that leads to Hell, you may find it guarded by a giantess. She will ask your name, she will ask your lineage, she will ask your business. The Northmen tell of the warrior woman Brynhild, who leapt into fire and rode to Hell to join her slain love Sigurd.
So we repaired that bridge over there with the power of our mind. I don't think we'll let this story run to its
However
end.
you come to the gold-covered bridge that leads to Hell, you may find it guarded by a giantess. She will ask your name, she will ask your lineage, she will ask your business. The Northmen tell of the warrior
So she's like the Hell police.
who leapt into fire and rode to Hell to join her slain love Sigurd, and is challenged by the giantess.
No, so apparently this was the whole story of Brynhild and Sigurd at this point. X. I think it has to do with the symbols over here, but getting into the perfect position is not easy. So that's the S. Okay.
Hela possesses large dwelling places in Helheim. Tall are her walls, high are her gates. The name of her dish is hunger. Her knife is famine. On her threshold all will stumble. Her bed is called sick bed, and her bed hangings are called flames of a funeral pyre. They say she is easy to recognize, half black and half the color of flesh, and her face menacing and grim.
Sounds like quite the boss. So let's see about this X over here. It does look like an X, doesn't it? So why isn't it working? Okay, that was it. Moving forward. Through the 7 gates of hell into the unknown. Open.
The gate. It's opening. source of the darkness. It's coming. This is your moment. Whoa.
I'm sorry. I can't watch this.
What are you doing? You're showing weakness. You're not a warrior. You're a disgrace. The gods will punish you for this. Pick up the sword. Pick it up. Fight the darkness. Fight it. Get up. Get up. Get up and fight.
No.
Hell is reaching deep inside of her. Stormy seas and lost souls. She's dreamt of this before. They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts and fears, as seen by our inner eye. But what if each one of us is always dreaming, even when awake, and we only see what our inner eye creates for us? Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through her eyes. Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
You fail the gods. You're pathetic. Rotten. Cursed. What are you thinking? Did you really think you could win? How stupid can you be?
So stupid.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed. Look at you. A warrior. Worthless. Weak. Pathetic. Poor. Feel sorry for yourself because there's no one else to do that for you.
What's that?
Take it. If you're too much of a coward to fight, then end the suffering. Broken and lost. Just
Do
like your
it.
soul.
Come on.
Incredible acting in this part.
Why go on? When you give everything and face that which torments you, only to find that it is worse than you could have imagined. Why go on? Is it really so bleak to ask this? Or are we just so afraid of the honest answer that we do not dare pose the question? Sometimes the answer lies in a memory, a feeling, a song.
It's true.
Don't give up.
It's
Not like this.
Maybe you're already dead.
Who are you?
Do you still believe in yourself?
No, it's not. It's true. She knows it's him. It's true. He's already dead. He can't be here. It's impossible.
Come to me. Please.
Go towards the light. It's him. There he is. It can't be him. It's just a trick. It's in your mind.
It's not, it's here.
It's
Time
him.
is real. It's happening.
Go towards it.
So, this is very interesting. First of all, the game broke the fourth wall again and made you ask yourself some questions about what your reality actually is. So this has echoes of the Shakespearean dream within a dream, to a large amount, I would say. But the game also establishes some dualities, some dichotomies. So we have Senua's so-called shadow that started talking to her a while back. It was always with her, but it was silent until Valravan's realm, or until the moment when she started actually getting close to Helheim, getting close to her objective. And we also have the counterpart to Sad Shadow, which is Dillian. Dillian apparently represents her light. So the reason she has to keep going, not only on this quest, but through life. And we might ask ourselves if the shadow that we experienced, and that is apparently different from Senua's inner darkness, will also end up being personified at one point. And if that's the case, what face will that shadow borrow? So apparently we fell down the bridge to Helheim, and we must once again carve our own path. Through life. But we don't have our sword anymore, so let's say we now have a secondary quest which involves getting back our weapon, or getting a weapon, so that we are able to fight the Drogs.
You was gone. How could you? How could you?
So Dillian
You.
is like
I told you.
our mentor at this point. He guides us through hell, like Virgilius guided Dante in the Divine Comedy.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father Zinbel made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
So we have a new character that hopefully we'll be able to focus on a bit later, and that character is Zimbel, her father. idea where to go, honestly, but let's explore this area.
Senua, there will be times that you will feel alone and exhausted, like a strange little fish swimming against the tides of the big ocean. But have the faith to let go and let the tide carry you away. Because the whole ocean is your home. It does not ask you to swim against it.
This has clear follow your destiny echoes. But I guess it also reflects an organic view of the world. Everything is connected and you are therefore part of this big whole, this big unitary system that is the universe.
It's in your mind. You think you can see it.
And if you are part of everything, then this whole cannot actually
There he was,
plot against you.
the lone figure of a boy. Saul lay under the shade of a tree. She remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes, he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him. The gloom lifted. For the first time in years, she felt a ray of hope.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigurd. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whoever can answer. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigurd's touch. His brother, King Sigurd, wants him, but Sigmund refuses him, so King Sigurd plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast. When they arrive, they are met with harmony, not war. King Sigurd captures Sigmund and his brothers and steals his magic sword. Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravens, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. And why? Well,
So we're trying to put together this story that is scattered throughout these pillars.
as the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy King Sigurd, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigurd needs him. So she sends her sons to him, Their blood is weak and corrupted. Their death is frozen sister ashes. Marvelous cold heart.
Day after day, watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Sigmund's sister trades shields with sorcerers, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother. She gives birth to a son named Senua. After a time, she sends him into the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Senua. Luck is not on their side. They're captured and Senua is the very life.
It's a trick. It's not real. Different.
This running towards light scenes also remind me of The Void, where you have to run towards Godsend, which is an echo of the world yet to be. You must do this at several points throughout that game, and it is very similar to what this one tries to accomplish.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it, just like he does.
This is probably the first happy memory of Senua that we experience. And this is, I think, the only time in the game where you actually see her smile. And she doesn't even want to look in the camera, as you can see. She tries keeping that dumbfounded smile just for herself. But this actually is beautiful. Look at this. Orkney Islands with a touch of magic.
What's your name?
Senua,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learned all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dilly. red dress. Come on. Bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who's supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are.
You killed him.
But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her.
Don't move.
Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were.
Don't move.
That there's nothing to go back to at all.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy you.
They won't stop me. I can still feel it.
Whatever's left of him. They will never let him go.
I'm gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here.
No.
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Thank you. I'll find you. I promise.
Can you see him?
You won't believe it.
Is he there?
Here,
Is he there?
you're alone in these mountains.
Is that Lydia?
Nothing lives here. You won't survive.
What are these? We don't know.
What's he trying to tell you?
He's waiting for you by a tree.
As Sigmund and Sylvia are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Siggeir's hole. The king burns to death. Sigmund calls to his sister to come out so that she may live and be honored. She does come out, but only to tell him the truth. That she had slept with him, her brother, to beget a strong avenger. I am not fit to live, she says, and walks back into the fire.
The famed
Strike vengeance from your heart, Senua.
Norse honor.
There's always a heavy price to pay.
So instead of trying to get revenge on her brother for basically killing her sons because they were not worthy enough, she still helps him, and by doing that she dooms herself, and she accepts it, which is a very different way to see the world and morality from what we perceive as moral actions these days.
And here is the end of Sigmund's story. He was a fierce and great warrior who fought many battles. But one day, an old man came onto the battlefield. Although shadowed by a hood, Sigmund saw that he only had one eye. The man raised his spear, and Sigmund struck at it with his sword. The sword shattered into pieces. Sigmund then knew that this was Odin, and thus that victory could not be his. He bowed his head and accepted his end. Dying, he tells his wife that she is with child, and that her son will one day make a great weapon out of the fragments of his sword. sword named Gram.
Take the sword. Take it. Come here. Take it. Take it. It's a trick. It's a trick. It's coming from there. I know. Look. She started something.
What's happening?
Senua, imagine it. A sword that can slay gods. Its name is Grammar. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
Yeah, we just read about it.
This sword. It's important. Can you help me?
So your sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said the great warrior can reforge Grammar by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the tree of death will take you to new lands where you will face the trials.
Go to the shard. What's the shard?
So she pretty much adapts one of Druth's tales again
Find it.
to fit her current
You
situation.
need that sword. Go to the shard.
She's weaponless, so of course she has to find a mythical sword straight out of Northern legends, which has echoes of Celtic legends as well, if we count Excalibur and the tale of King Arthur. But you can't defy the structure of the Norse legend, so of course there are more trials to be had. So this is what is interesting. Even in her disturbed mind, Druth's stories tend to have some internal coherence, and she cannot defy that internal coherence. She must accept it for what it is.
There's the shard. Focus. Use your eyes. Look.
At any rate, that's enough for now.
It's not safe.
So in the next part we'll probably hunt for the pieces of this sword, so we can have a weapon that can slay a god on our hand, even though we already we have already slain two gods, Surt and Valravan. So hey, there you go. But I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and hopefully I'll see you later. Bye!